Order.
Okay.
All right, so we're calling the meeting to order at 5:31. We're going to actually hold for a couple of minutes here just because as we transitioned over, there was an issue that at least one person was dropped and want to make sure they get a fair chance to come back in. So we'll give them a couple minutes and then we'll jump back in. Any other housing authority stuff to go over besides for the bond stuff and the direct topic that we're dealing with today? Hey, Bernie, is anything going on with the parking or did they figure that out?
Actually, Amy had everything under control. It just wasn't very well communicated. It was
Yep.
the impression that no parking was permitted on the property at all, but it was just certain areas.
Okay.
And so it wasn't that issue of finding spots for people to park.
Okay. Well, I thought I had Paul Stone's cell phone, but I don't. Otherwise, I would text him and ask him if he wanted to get back in. But again, we'll give him a minute or two. Just apologies that he got dropped. All right, and I'm not sure we have all that much more to discuss that we won't be discussing at next week's meeting. So. All right, we'll give one more minute. He can, of course, access the this.
Yeah, the recording will be available. So yeah.
Given that, let's go ahead and we'll. This is sort of a special meeting, so we don't have a reading of minutes. We're really here under resolution approval. And so, Greg, why don't you help to lead us through what we need to do, and we'll make the appropriate motions and do what we need to do.
Okay, I move that we go into executive session.
No,
no, it's not. Yeah, this is not. This isn't anything for an executive session. It has to be adopted at a public meeting.
Okay, tell me when to stop recording then.
No, you're going to record throughout.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. No, there's no executive session for this meeting. Okay, so the first agenda item that we have is the acquisition and financing resolutions related to the Lakeview property. The first of those resolutions is relatively ministerial. I don't have it as a written resolution, but what we need is just authorization for Scott Hobbs as chairman to proceed with the extension of the purchase agreement amendment. This is to extend the closing date to October 16th and the posting of an additional $250,000 deposit. So if one of the members of the board would like to make that motion.
I'll move.
Tim moves. Is there a second? Uh-oh, Bernie's frozen.
Bernie. Oh, gee.
Breaking up.
Best laid plans.
Is the motion made?
Yeah,
yes.
Tim made the motion.
I made the motion.
You second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Okay. The next resolution that we have, I'll put up on the screen. Sure that while I find the share button. I don't see that I have the share button.
If you go to
when you go where it says more on the bottom, there are three buttons. Click the buttons and you'll see on the menu it'll be share.
You might need to click it.
Yeah, share. I don't have share. I think Bernie, you might need to right click on my name and give me sharing.
Greg, take a quick look. If you click in the blue 3-dot box on your right side, it may open up the menu on the bottom.
I don't have that. I have whiteboard, notes, docs, record, and captions. I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have it now. Maybe it just popped in.
Mine wasn't there, and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I found it. So good.
Got it. Okay, give me just a second. Bernie, one of my colleagues is in the waiting room. You might need to admit, just check and see if there's other people that maybe need to be admitted as
I don't
well.
see any new people in the waiting room.
Okay. All right. Maybe a glitch on her end. That's okay. I've got it here. So she just sent me a message saying that. So I just wanted to make sure that if there were people in the waiting room that we didn't overlook them. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen there. I'll make that a little easier to read. Um, so I think I'll just allow everybody to read through the resolution unless anybody wants me to read it directly, but otherwise I think I'll just give you a minute here, then I'll scroll down.
Just give a thumbs up whenever you're ready.
And I'll give you the background, just that these are the financing resolutions for the acquisition and financing of the Lakeview property. That's the general context of the resolutions. Okay. And again, these are the resolutions to authorize the acquisition and financing of the property to be known as Riverwood New Canaan Apartments at 106 Lakeview Avenue. This authorizes the two financing loans, first and second mortgage loan, and authorizes Scott to execute all the documents in connection with the acquisition and financing thereof. One of the members of the board would like to make a motion to adopt these resolutions as written. These resolutions have been reviewed by the Lenders Council to meet all of their requirements.
Make a resolution. I'll move to make a resolution. Or you approve the resolution.
I'll move. It's Tim.
Or Tim, you'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tim, if you just want to say aye, I don't think we heard you on the screen. Tim, can you say aye again?
Aye.
Tim, can you hear us?
The internet is breaking up.
Tim, if you can hear us, just need you to raise your hand to acknowledge aye or to state aye again. Tim, can you state aye again?
Tim, can you hear us?
Okay, I think he's reconnected.
Were you
Here we
waiting
go.
for me?
Yeah, if you could just say aye to
Aye.
For your vote.
I'm sorry. I don't know how I got disconnected. Aye.
Very well. So the motion is passed and the resolution is adopted.
All right, I'm gonna take that one down. bring up the next one. Okay. Read. Okay. This next resolution is also in connection with the financing, separate from the direct financing secured by the property. This resolution authorizes the Housing Authority to accept a loan from the town in the amount of $4 million and to accept a grant from New Canaan Neighbors of $3 million. These are to facilitate the meeting of the lender requirements and to provide the Housing Authority with the capital that it needs in order to complete the execution of the acquisition of the property through its limited liability company. So again, I'll give you a few minutes to read through this, and then I'll scroll down. Okay. So again, this resolution authorizes the Housing Authority to accept the loan from the town of $4 million and to accept the grant from New Canaan Neighbors of $3 million and authorizes Scott Hobbs, the chairman of the Housing Authority to, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to drop that share.
I think we saw on Reddit, so it's probably okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
and authorizes Scott to take any actions necessary to consummate those transactions. So if one of the members of the board would like to make a motion to adopt that resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Kim
I'll
moves,
second it.
Bernie seconds, all in favor? Aye.
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 Great.
Okay. Okay, that completes the resolutions necessary for the acquisition and the financing. Now separately, the next agenda item, the board needs to adopt on behalf of just the Housing Authority, not on behalf of the LLC, but the Housing Authority is going to issue bonds in order to facilitate the financing of the project. So these resolutions are to facilitate the Housing Authority being the issuer, making the issuance of those bonds. So give me just a minute to share that one. And this resolution was prepared by the Housing Authority's Bond Council, which is ORIC. And has also been reviewed by all of the lenders and transaction parties involved to reflect their comments. Okay, so again, this set of resolutions authorizing the Housing Authority to act as bond issuer for the issuance of bonds in separate issuances, aggregating a total of $80 million, the first of which will be a publicly offered bond, the second of which will be a private placement to sophisticated investors. It's important to note that these are non-recourse to the Housing Authority. So the Housing Authority is acting as the issuer and the conduit, the issuance of these bonds, but is not directly obligated under the provisions of the bonds. One of the board members like to make a motion to adopt these resolutions.
I'll make a motion.
And Tim, you're on mute for 1 second there. You want to come off mute? Yep.
The dog came up behind me. I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Passes. Resolution is adopted.
Right.
Silence.
Right. That completes the transaction resolutions for both the acquisition and financing and the second agenda item for the bond issuance.
Awesome.
Great.
So Greg, anything else we need to keep going, or is that it?
That's everything that we have for the moment. Fingers crossed that should be the extent of the resolutions that we'll need in order to get all the way to the closing. But obviously moving at a very fast pace with a lot of things changing daily, if not hourly. We'll keep you posted, and if there's anything more that we need to tend to, you'll be the first to know.
And Greg, we alluded to that we have to next Wednesday as our regularly scheduled meeting. So we're already on the docket for another one, and if we can wait. Oop, am I wrong on that, or?
Yeah, I think next Wednesday is Rosh Hashanah, so we postponed it for a week.
Yeah, we have the meetings on the calendar for the following week.
Oops.
October 9th, rather than October 2nd.
That is correct.
So should we put a meeting on the calendar just in case for like Tuesday or Thursday of next week?
I'll just note that the bylaws of the Housing Authority allow you to call a meeting, special meeting on 24 hours, 48 hours notice, or an emergency meeting on 24 hours notice. So, I think there's nothing that I'm aware of right now that would necessitate a meeting next week. So it's up to you all if you want to put something on the calendar as a precaution. But I don't feel from my perspective, I don't see a compelling need for that.
Sounds good. Anyone else think we do need to, or?
I'm satisfied.
Likewise, ditto.
We can wait till October 9th unless, in light of what Greg just said.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's an emergency situation, you can have a special meeting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we'll just go for a second meeting, an emergency meeting if we need to. All right. Given that, is there any further business?
Nope.
Seeing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Bernie,
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Yeah, taking time to get out here. Thank your partners for us.
No problem. No problem. We're right on time. I've got 5 minutes before the next meeting starts.
Hey, awesome.
Good.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you all.
Take care.
That way. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.